Hey, welcome back guys. Today in this video, we are going to look at how we can start creating the URLs based on the context of a collection. So now the question may be why we need to create the URLs based on collections context? Well, in our recent videos, what we had done is created this concept of collections, this new entity where we are saying that you first create a collection which can house a set of settings, right? So if you go over here, click on collections, these are certain kinds of collections, and inside that you will add URLs which needs to be monitored. So for example, let's say on a client's project you have 2 or 3 URLs that you want to monitor. Maybe they have 2-3 apps or websites as such, and to monitor that you will create a collection by the name of that client, and then configure some certain kinds of settings, like who should get the email for any kind of notification, what is the frequency of scans, so on and so forth, right? And then you add all the URLs. So all the URLs inside that collection will get that same setting. That is the basic idea. So in this video, what I did was added this button. Now what it will do is allow us to create the URL based on the context of this collection. So if I go back and click on some other collection, the URL you can see is collections link add to, and if I add a link over here, so let me show you my database right now. I have 4 URLs inside my URL table. So if I come over here and add this, right, Amitav Roy, maybe Amitav Roy dash test, so that we understand, because the last one is Google. So we save, and now if I hit refresh, can you see we have this new entry and the collection ID 2 was assigned to it. Why? Because we used this collection, right? So this is what I have done in this video, and I'll explain you how changes have been done. So obviously the first thing is I removed that URL from the menu so that no one can directly go to the URL listing, because now it slowly doesn't make sense. So inside my top menu, rather the top navigation, right, what I basically did is here, this thing I just removed, okay, and that's about it. And on top of it, I also did one more change, which is if I go inside pages, there was URLs/add, and I have removed that page. So URLs/add doesn't work anymore. The only thing right now I need to delete is the URL/view and the index, because not the view, rather the index, because the listing of URLs will again happen through the context of the collection. Okay, so that 2 things are taken care, which is changing of the menu and the delete of the page. Now what I additionally did is this add button was added to my collections table, because that's how the entry will be. So you can see inside my collections table here I have this new div, which is nothing but a link tag, okay, which is looking like a button of type primary. It has this plus thing over here, and it is taking the user to collections/link/add/the collection ID. And that's the reason I have a new page over here as well, which is collections/link/add/ then square bracket id.tsx. This square bracket id, if you don't know, means that on this page I can expect a param, a query param, which then I will use inside my component to get that information. So in this page I have done nothing else. So link is imported. I can see that in the green. This is no big change. These are the certain things which I have added. So let's see what we have done over here on this particular page. So if I click on this thing, first of all, add new link to this collection. So I have the title, which basically is part of the layout, right? But actually not, we don't need to go like that. So we have this component called collection link add page. This collection link add page is of type next page. It has a state variable called collection ID, and the method which I will use to set it, it expects a string or null value. By default it is null. And I have this breadcrumb which allows me to go back to collections if I want to, right? Easy navigation. Then I have got the router object using the use router hook. And what I'm doing over here is inside use effect, I'm setting the collection ID to router query ID to string, or I'm keeping it null. Okay. And this particular thing changes whenever there is a change in the query of the router object. Okay. Now we have the layout component. The layout component is the basic responsible component for this entire UI, right? So over here, typically like we have this page title and the breadcrumb that we just created. It's an array of I breadcrumb. This is something which I have explained quite a few times, but just quickly, if you want to, this is the type of, you'll say, object that needs to be presented to the I breadcrumb link, right? So it's an array of I breadcrumb link. And over here we have name home link / collections link / collections and add URL, right? So that is done. Then a little bit of markup, and then I'm checking and rendering the URL add form only when the collection ID is not null. So as you can see, initially my collection ID is set to null. When this use effect comes into picture and there is something in the collection ID based on the router.query, this form will be rendered. And in this form, if I go inside it, there are a few changes made. One main thing is, as you can see over here, now I added one more prop. I'm expecting collection ID coming as a string. I destructured that collection ID over here, and that is the reason inside here this thing is also being passed, right? The collection ID from the page is being passed. This collection ID, I take it from the state variable. Okay, so that's done. The form gets the collection ID. And when I'm sending the post request, right, I'm sending this key over here, which is the collection ID. And that's the reason with all these changes, what I'm able to do is create a URL which now has the context of the URL. So if you look at the console as well, we are looking at collection 7 network. Let's just say https://.com, something like that. Hit save. So URL is here. Let's see what's the payload looking like. So we have collection ID 7 URL twitter.com, and in the response we get whatever is the new URL that we got, right? So that's about it, guys. That's what I did in terms of a little bit of refactoring so that we are able to create this ability of creating URLs in the context of a collection. As you can see, this add form, right, which I have added over here, is very easily being reused because it was previously on a different page. I can put it in a pop-up also. I was thinking about it, but then I decided to create a page out of it. But yeah, we removed that page and moved that component over here. The only additional thing that I had to do was add this prop because now it is needed. And yeah, it basically continues to work. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, do click on the thumbs up icon. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And yes, if you have any questions so far in this series, then do comment below and I will try to reply and solve your problems.